final day of the public consultation on plans for Phase 2 of HS2, which of course will come through Staffordshire and Cheshire. We're looking at what high-speed rail will mean for Crewe. Claire Winton runs an equestrian centre in Coppenhall, alongside where a tunnel to take the high-speed service under the town would surface. She can't see why HS2 is needed and fears for her 25-year-old business.
The tunnel is going to come out in one of our paddocks along the railway line, and they need an embankment which is actually going to come out halfway through the yard and actually through the garage, quite a few of the stables, and actually right next to the house, right next to the kitchen. So it would seriously affect the whole of the business and obviously the fact of where I live.
Now, Cheshire East Council supports HS2 as long as it means Crewe gets a new pub train station. So let's get some clarity on what that actually means and what's planned for Crewe from the authorities' point of view. Councillor Michael Jones is the leader. Good morning.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. So just paint the picture for us here. A new hub station in Crewe. What will it do? Where will it be?
Well, it will transform not just Crewe but South Cheshire, North Wales, Liverpool, Chester, Stoke. It would be a transformation, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, because you would get a modern, connected station that would sit south of the current station with a transit to the current and beyond to allow connectivity. And I feel sorry for the lady from Coppenhall who's saying that she's going to lose the business. That's very sad and difficult for her, and I understand why she would be very negative. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to connect the Northwest. This is about getting a gateway for the Northwest. It's about many thousands, tens of thousands of jobs. It's putting Crewe back on the map what it should be, where 176 years ago rail engineering started. It's about electrification to Chester, North Wales. It's about enhancing Warrington. This is clearly not just about Crewe, it's about the whole gateway to the Northwest. And I think it's a very serious message that, you can bid locally for Stoke and, other places, Stafford and whatever, and I understand all that. But in all seriousness, it's the bid at Crewe that is going to leverage up extensive growth in the South Cheshire, North Staffordshire area.
Well, let's just focus on Crewe itself for a second. We'll come back to Stoke in a minute. But what would become of the existing station on Nantwich Road? What are your thoughts there?
Well, first of all, I think that station is recognised as being old and tired, and it needs to have a lot of money to make it work. We don't have that money, nor does anybody else. So the entrance of the station, the new entrance, would remain as a key central point, with a Mackham Way being a central connecting point into it. So we'll retain large parts of it. The rest could become a museum, could become a focal point for other things. No problem. We suggested that we could have a museum there quite easily, and I think that's what we could look at it. The key thing is, I don't think that station works as well as it should do now. And if we don't get this through, the likelihood is over time, unless they invest £200 million on new signalling, our service will diminish anyway.
So Nantwich Road train station could become a museum?
Yeah.
So no services at all?
Oh, no, so it's stopping there. When you've got a new station 300 metres away from the courtesy of the current station, you wouldn't need it, would you? There would be a transit. You'd be able to get a transit from the, as I think it would be from Coppenhall, Bentley, the town centre, to the new station.
Let's just widen out the look at HS2 and the impact on the town's residents, which surely must be a concern, because around Huff and Chorlton they face a large viaduct, a tall viaduct in Coppenhall, the end of a twin tunnel. What are your thoughts there?
We think we've mitigated that. We've certainly put up ideas that would allow us to mitigate that, and clearly it's very important to listen to the people who've got these genuine concerns, both in here and in Northern Borough as well. We are very clear that in our presentation we've put ideas forward to mitigate all of this.
How realistic do you think it is that your demands will be heard and reacted to by government?
Well, that's a £1 million question, isn't it? We're very confident that given the way that HS2 has gone forward, given that they're now going for the hub model, given that they've seen connectivity, given that they understand that this is not just about speed of train to London, this is about the generic economic impact. I think we have I've certainly been told by ministers and by officials of HS2 that we have the best application and modelled in. A station at Crewe, irrespective of HS2, stands on its own merit to give £1.5 million worth of rail benefits. That's huge. So I think we've got the best offer. I think we've got the best pitch. I think we've been doing this for a long, long time. I think we're inclusive. I think we're well supported. And, you know, the people of Crewe should understand it. With Shortland and Hull or anywhere else, this is a holistic approach. We're looking at all the connectivity issues locally, interlocally, and regionally. And I think they can be very proud of this bid.
Last night, Stoke-on-Trent City Council appealed to the people of Crewe basically in highlighting the approval of their plans for an HS2 train station in the city, saying that our plan minimises the environmental impact on Crewe by using existing lines.
Yeah, of course he would say that, wouldn't he? Because they're desperate to get it into Stoke where it doesn't help anybody else. It's a very selfish view, which I understand. Everyone's bidding that way. Ours doesn't do that. Ours includes North Wales, Liverpool, Chester, Warrington, Shrewsbury. It includes locally going to Alsager quicker, Stoke quicker. You've got to see the real deal, and the real deal is at Crewe. And the fact is that, you know, we've not petitioned the people of Stoke. We've not petitioned people to go around from elsewhere. We've simply said to the people of Stoke, of which over 2,000 children have responded and said, we want a new station. Young voices are very clear. They want a new station. I think it's important to see that we are talking to people.
Final question then, and you have described HS2 as a once-in-a-century opportunity for Crewe, and you've outlined what it will do for the area and the wider community. What happens then if the town doesn't get a new station as a result?
If we don't get a new station, then clearly the government will have to come and explain to me what the logic of HS2 is, given all the offers we put forward. And we will look to continue to go forward and grow, but I think it would be a very clear message that HS2 is about other things than what they're claiming at the moment. And I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm fairly clear that we've got a very good argument. But I think we actually underwrite the argument for HS2. And if we don't do something at Crewe, it would undermine the argument. And so taking to Stoke would massively undermine it. So the logic of HS2 is about connectivity. You get the best connectivity via Crewe. Always have done, always will do. It's great.
Michael Jones, thank you. Leader of Cheshire East Council on the authorities' hopes for HS2 in Crewe.